So the absolutely incredible and wise politicians of California are at it again. In an effort to pay for those most affected and harmed by the COVID-19 virus, California's top marginal tax rate, which is already the highest in the nation at 13.3%, have a new proposal within the legislature that would add surcharges on seven-figure earners. It would add 1% surcharge to anyone making more than $1 million, 3% on all income in excess of $2 million, and 3.5% on income above about $5 million. That means that at the highest rate, these taxes will be almost 54%, which includes federal taxes. That unfortunately doesn't take into account sales tax, which in California is the highest in the nation, incredibly high property taxes that most jurisdictions charge, and of course, all the fines that the state levies for every single business infraction, parking ticket, etc., etc. Doing business in California, the cost is rising. If you are a top earner, you are generally somebody that employs people. What are the odds that somebody who even is somebody who wants to equalize the playing field, and that's their only goal, and let's say that you make $10 million a year, and your one goal, to help society. You just want to pay for the daycare of underprivileged children. You want to pay for scholarships for future physicists, for chemists, for computer programmers. Obviously, if you really care about society, you're not paying scholarships for gender studies programs, which I'll get to in a second. But you are going to then say, hey, do I want to pay an extra $16 million to the state of California so that they can enforce Title IX in universities, so that they can have Title IX officers whose sole duty is to promote gender equity and to rob males that are somehow accused of rape, in some cases by females who regret their actions the following day and then point the finger at the male and not give them a fair trial, which has happened many, many times. This is what your tax dollars are going to and paying for, to pay for healthcare for illegal immigrants, while the rest of the citizenry pay for the right to pay for incredibly high deductibles that they have to accomplish before insurance even kicks in. This is what your tax dollars are going for, and as somebody who might care, I might take my $10 million that I make, move to Nevada, move to Texas where I pay 0% in taxes, and say, hey, I know where I can spend this money better, where I can get better results for society than the politicians that want to spend their money on pet programs, the politicians that intentionally are sending away the tax base, like Elon Musk, Morena Gonzalez of San Diego, the author of a bill which deprived contract workers, the people that are hired by the gig, of their right to work, because she wants everybody to be unionized, because she doesn't recognize the fact that some people out there want a more flexible schedule and don't want to be employed full time. She gets in the way of the free market, and then she tells Elon Musk, when he wants to reopen up his Tesla factory, to F off. And Elon says, noted. And guess where his new plant will be? It's going to be in Texas. That's where he's going to be producing the electric truck that Tesla is now producing. Joe Rogan is picking up, taking his $100 million contract and moving also, guess where? Texas, 0% sales tax, or 0% income taxes. Do you not think that that has an effect? So essentially, what you're doing is you are telling the high income earners, hey, we are going to charge you up the yin-yang to stay in state. It is the height of arrogance of California legislatures to believe that in today's day and age, especially with telecommuting, that one would have to stay within the state borders and pay these exorbitant fees, these onerous, and deal with onerous business regulations. And you must stay here because we're California. Yeah, we're the best. Gavin Newsom apparently the other day said something like, yeah, it's not cheap to do business in California, but we're not lowering taxes. We're the best. This is the arrogance. The cities of California are already suffering under a crisis of homelessness. The weight of homeless people that are just spreading and making life less livable in these cities. No matter how much you care for these homeless, we are obviously taking the wrong strategy in terms of dealing with it. And in addition to this, now you are going to see the tax base leaving. You are going to see the wealthy that are going to leave the state of California and set up in greener pastures. And if they have to fly in for the meeting, then they can do so. They can take a cheap Southwest Airlines flight. But nobody's going to continue to want to pay these taxes. And for all these people that say, hey, You know, don't you believe in the cause? Don't you believe in California? No, some people don't. And some people are going to exercise their personal freedoms. And this is the problem with the left, that they believe that their vision of the world is the only one that will work and that you have to get on board. And if things aren't working, we're going to strangulate it even more by charging more in taxes. And eventually what's going to happen is that Joe Biden, if he's elected president, is going to be forced to print tons of money to bail out these states because of their inept moves. Because California was sending their tax base elsewhere, and now Joe Biden, the Federal Reserve, is just debasing the US currency, robbing people of all the savings that they've created over the course of their lifetimes. And this is unfortunately going to be the US dollar. All these people are going to lose their savings, and the US dollar is going to be supplanted by something like Bitcoin, which has a fixed and limited supply as the exchange of value. So what's going on in California is like a tidal wave that is coming for you, and it's growing slowly, and you're like, okay, there's some problems, there's something on the horizon, maybe we've got to deal with it. I'm telling you, if this keeps up, the legislatures, with their infinite wisdom, are just blowing a strong wind at the back of this massively forming wave. And eventually there's going to be nothing you can do to stop it, because it's going to reach a point of no return, and it's going to wash over all of California. And you are seeing the effects of it. And already people are saying, I see the tidal wave coming. I'm going to leave the state. Joe Rogan did it. I did it. Elon Musk did it. Many other people have done it. It costs much more to rent a U-Haul to leave the state of California than it does to move in. This is not random. Gavin Newsom, Salesman of the Year for U-Haul. California legislatures are, again, sending out the tax base, raising prices, and they don't think that people can react. It's the height of arrogance to believe that California is the place that you need to do business. So, guys, I'm just telling you, leave before the tidal wave comes, see what's coming, and by all means, vote red this year, because blue has gone completely insane. Guys, like this video, give it a big thumbs up on YouTube, share it with your friends, and feel free to subscribe to the channel. Peace and blessings to everybody out there.